Let's take a look at some British colonial coins recently sold by heritage auctions. Let's start off with a single-year type coin from the British colony of South Rhodesia, or what is modern-day Zimbabwe. This 2 shilling coin from 1954 features a portrait of a newly crowned Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, and a proud sable antelope on the reverse of the 2 shilling coin. Graded by NGC as MS64, it managed to attain a closing price at auction of $1,080. This strange coin is a copper mule strike, probably from the Soho Mint, that features the obverse of an Indian Madras Presidency fractional rupee and the reverse of a Ceylon stiver, or a fractional 1/48th Rix dollar. Graded by NGC as MS61 brown, it achieved a closing price at auction of $2,640. This exquisitely crafted medal was created to celebrate the New Zealand National Exposition held in 1865. It showcased exhibits from Australia, Belgium, France, Germany, India, Great Britain, and the Netherlands, Australia, and of course New Zealand itself. It is possible that this medal may have been awarded to, say, visiting dignitaries or, important makrimuks who happen to appear. Graded by NGC as MS63, it sold at auction for the sum of $2,880. To the South American continent now, for a rare British Guyana 1 guilder coin from the reign of George IV. Now, you might have noticed that the coin is denominated as a guilder, traditionally a Dutch currency, and not a more prototypical shilling or pound, as it was at the time a British colony. That is because the territory was under Dutch control from the early 17th century until it was ceded to Great Britain in 1815 following the Napoleonic Wars. One of only 2 such coins graded by NGC, it was sold at auction for $4,320 with a grade of Proof 62. Following the British victory in the Anglo-Boer War, the 4 southernmost British colonies in Africa, namely the Cape Colony, Natal Colony, the Orange Free State or Orange River Colony, and the former independent South African Republic, now the Transvaal Colony, were all combined as one to form the Union of South Africa. This is one of the very first sovereigns to be minted from South African gold at the newly established South African Royal Branch Mint. Only 655 of these coins were minted and are today very sought after by collectors. Graded by NGC as Proof 64, it sold at auction for $4,320. This silver medal was issued in 1761 following the siege and capture of the French-controlled port of Pondicherry by British forces during the 7 Years' War. The medal loudly proclaims, and I quote, "the total expulsion of the French from India" on the reverse of the medal. Now, the French would again regain control of the territory as part of the Treaty of Paris in 1763. This historic medal from the British Raj collection was graded by NGC as MS63 and sold at auction for the sum of $4,800. Another piece from the British Raj collection is this 1799 dated bronze medal from the siege and subsequent capture of Seringapatam, the final and deciding confrontation in the Fourth Anglo-Mysorean War that took place in 1799. The reverse depicts the siege of the Seringapatam fortress by the British East India Company troops, while the obverse depicts the British lion dominating a Bengal tiger. It is interesting to note here that in this context, the Tipu Sultan who lost this particular war was known as the Tiger of Mysore, so the implied meaning is not exactly subtle, with their banner above reading, if my translation is correct, the Lion of God is the conqueror, next to the Union Jack, of course. Graded by NGC as MS63 Brown, this historic medal was sold for $5,280 at auction. A very attractive example of a Victorian young-head sovereign with the shield reverse from 1865 is now on display. One of the fascinating little quirks about these coins is the fact that it includes the die number on the actual coin, so you know exactly which die was used to strike each coin, found here just above the Tudor rose below the reef. This example is die number 32, so if someone is particularly pedantic, they could try to assemble a full set of die numbers. And if you think that might be a little bit out there, just remember that some people collect cap bust half dollars according to Overton numbers. You know, nothing wrong with that, I'm just saying. Graded by PCGS as MS64, it was sold at auction for $5,280. There's an old adage that I'm rather quite fond of that says, coins are the footprints of history. And it certainly is true that certain coins can mark or come to exemplify pivotal moments or events or eras in a country's history. That is certainly true in the case of the Adelaide Pound, which is a direct result of the South Australian gold rush, following the discovery of gold in Bathurst and Ballarat. What we have here is an example of the Type 2 coin with the crenulated inner border, distinguishing itself from the Type 1 coin, which had a simple encircled perlated border instead. This coin was graded by NGC as XF Details for being an X mount and sold at auction for $5,520. This 1929 Australian sovereign from the Melbourne Mint is not nearly as rare as, say, the 1930 or 31, but its mintage of only 436,000 coins is particularly dwarfed by the million-plus mintage figure that came from the Perth Mint annually by comparison. This example has a good amount of eye appeal with pleasingly lustrous fields, especially towards the center, almost giving it the appearance of a proof-like coin, though PCGS awarded the coin with a grade of MS63, for which it raised a closing price at auction of $6,000. Subscribe to WNN and activate all notifications with the bell icon to know when new videos are released. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.